When I was around 11 years old, I was living in a small apartment with my parents. Their room was right in front of mine. To get to the bathroom, the living room, the kitchen, everything, we had to pass through a very small hallway. Every night, before I went to sleep, my father made sure the front door was locked for safety. One night, at about 2 or 3 in the morning, I heard my mother scream. It wasn't a normal scream. It was heartbreaking, the kind that makes your stomach drop. I got really scared, but I forced myself not to move. I told myself it was a nightmare, and that my dad would calm her down. The next day, my mother told me what had happened. She said that at around 2 in the morning, she could barely keep her eyes open when she heard the door of her room slowly opening. She turned, and she was sure she saw me standing at the doorway. I wasn't speaking, I was just staring at her. At first, she thought nothing of it, until she noticed something strange. In the few seconds it took her to sit up in bed and ask herself what I was doing there, the shape she saw began to grow, slowly, steadily, until it looked like a person about 2 meters tall. She realized how impossible it was. The first thought that flashed through her mind was that someone had entered the apartment. Maybe a thief, and yes, she said the figure was taking my appearance, but in that moment the fear and confusion made her believe that's what it was. She tried to wake my dad up. No matter how much she moved him, he wouldn't react. It took only a few seconds for him to finally wake up and ask what was happening. My mother explained what she was seeing and pointed toward it, but my dad insisted he couldn't see anything at all. He stayed confused, like the room was normal, like nothing was there. Then my dad fumbled for the button to turn on the light. At that exact moment, the strange figure turned as if it had heard something. It started heading toward my room. When it turned, my mother said its appearance changed. It was no longer a 2-meter tall girl. Now it looked like an old woman. That was when my mother screamed again, because she was sure that thing was going to my room to hurt me. My dad finally got the light on, and the figure disappeared instantly, as if it had never been there. I don't know if it has any connection, but 2 days later they called to tell us that one of my grandmother's sisters had died. I still don't know what it was, or why it took my appearance at first. But I've never been able to forget the way it looked when it was growing, or the instant it changed.